So welcome everyone. We are on episode 5 and we are all about defining the right career goal for you today. This episode is all about turning your insights into direct action. We're going to take you through the different types of career goals that you can use and introduce the ideas of different kinds of perspective on your career that will allow you to be able to move forward with clarity, whether it's in the immediate and the short term or towards a long range and time consuming career goal, if you like. And we'll be showing you how we work with people to set out a checklist around goal setting that means that you are able to immediately make progress with the things that matter most to you in your career. By the end of this session, you will have a goal in place that takes you closer to your thriving zone in your career.
You'll spend 80,000 hours at work. You're here because you want those hours to count. Hi, I'm Zoe Schofield.
And I'm Erica Sosna. A warm welcome to the Career Equation podcast. On this podcast, we take time out from our award-winning careers consultancy to share a game-changing formula to help you solve the sum of your life.
Each week, we and our guests use the Career Equation to explore their story so far and help them unlock the secrets of a fulfilling career.
So welcome back, everybody. And here we are for episode 5 of our Career Clarity mini-series. And I know that you've been doing some big thinking over the past few episodes, starting to get clearer and clearer through the lens of the equation about what success means, about the moments that have really mattered, and starting to pull together your insights in your own unique career equation design statement. But today now is all about taking that clarity and turning into movement, turning it into action. We wouldn't be decent coaches if we weren't really thinking about how do we help you to take clarity and then take action. So we're talking about goals and, most importantly, setting the right kind of career goal for where you are in your career right now. But before we dive into setting that goal, let's just redefine what we think a career goal can be. Because when we think about career goals, honestly, what comes up for you? For most people, it's something like get promoted, earn more money, become a leader, get to the next job grade or title. It's the kind of standard response to that horribly pressurized question of where do you want to be in 5 years' time? And if that's you, then no judgment. Those are absolutely valid career goals. But here's the thing. Not all career goals are about a linear progression. We've all heard the term and enjoyed the podcast around squiggly careers. Of course, careers can take us in all sorts of directions. And all of those directions and stops can be really fulfilling. Not all of them are just about looking up and getting to the next level. But all of them are about growing and evolving your sense of self and feeling that you are progressing. Because actually, all of the goals of title and job and leadership, they are ways of keeping score. They're the kind of symbols for tracking success. And what we are mostly interested in is what is it that you want to experience next? And how can we craft a goal that hones in on more of what we call the design statement. So sometimes the most important goal for you in a career is to actually go deeper or to go broader or even to go slower because your life context or energy or values demand something different. So today we want to introduce you to 3 different kinds of goals, a bit of a more flexible, more human framework for career goals and decision making, and one that we always use in our career coaching, because what we've discovered is that there are more than one type of career goal. So let me go ahead and share this with you now. In our methodology in the career equation, we talk about this idea of 3 types of career goals. The first being a progress goal, about forward movement and promotion, if you like. The second, a development goal, which is about deepening, stretching, widening, broadening. And the third, a learning goal. So let me break them down and tell you a bit more about them. A progress goal, it fits into this sort of classic career goals. I want to secure a promotion by X date. I want to have a new job by this date. I'd love to have a salary of X. I'd like to make a career pivot moving from X to Y. So all of these are about moving forward or upward and they are measured by the KPI of the money you make, the level of seniority or influence. It's a sort of measurable number around the time frame you've achieved something or the money that you've earned. And if you feel that you're ready for the next step in your career, if you feel like you've hit a ceiling in the role that you're in, this type of goal might be exactly what's calling you. And progress goals come often with kind of visibility, challenge, external change of some kind. They're quite visible to other people. So apply for and secure a head of department role by October 2025. Move from freelance into an in-house leadership role by January 2026. Increase my salary by 10% and secure a bonus of X amount by summer of next year. These are all progress goals, and these are classic career goal structures. The second kind of goal that sits around careers that might be useful to you, which we call a development goal or a stepping stone goal. They're all about growing your capacity to do and to be. Development goals focus on growing your potential, your knowledge, your expertise, and your readiness for something else. So they're often great goals to set when you're in the middle of exploring perhaps another role, another opportunity, or a kind of way of evolving your skill set. And they're often a little bit more inward facing. They're often more visible to you and perhaps to your direct line managers or people who are working around development and growth within your organization, but they transform you. So they're often in pursuit of something bigger. An example might be a qualification, your AAT, your CIPD, your RSVP, your Scrum or whatever. So becoming more qualified in a particular area. It might also be a secondment opportunity, an exposure, an expansion to your role. So spending some time shadowing the program management team, having a chance to get involved on a cross-functional project. So those things where we are expanding beyond the things that we know, but perhaps not necessarily making a linear move. And thirdly, it might be a chance to try something you haven't done before, line managing the next 3 apprentices to gain line management experience. So a development goal, you're usually not switching tracks at this stage, but you're strengthening your foundation so that you're ready for the next step. And lastly, the third kind of career goal is a learning goal. And this is all about expanding your sense of possibility. These goals are great for, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. I just want to do it better. I want to expand my knowledge and capacity in this field. And sometimes they're even learning goals for your career can be set completely outside of the job that you're doing right now. For example, they might be about learning a language or just out of curiosity, I don't know, taking a course on how AI works or exploring something that's completely tangential to the work you're doing now, taking a gardening training, that sort of thing. And these goals are really all about keeping that growth and learning mindset. They're about your curiosity, your exploration, acquiring the right kinds of skills, and making sure that you can deepen your skills and expertise so that you're exceptional at the role you're doing now. So they will either help you do what you're doing right now better, or they will open future doors or plant seeds for curiosity and for growth. And if you're in an experimental phase, perhaps you're in a career hiatus, maybe you're feeling a bit uncertain or you just want to test something new, a learning goal is a great way to get yourself moving and gently into action without too much pressure. Learning goals are more playful. They're about gathering data and insight. They're not really about proving yourself, about things that you do because you have the intrinsic motivation, which means because you want to, from the inside, learn that thing. So that could be anything from taking a short course in UX design to explore whether you like that and might want to pivot. It could be starting a conversational Spanish course at your local college. It could be getting better at pitching and becoming more confident presenting ideas by setting a goal of, I'm going to deliver 3 in-house presentations to different divisions of the business and get their feedback. So these are all about your personal growth, and they're done without any particular expectations. They're just about exploration and building confidence, knowledge, skills, and expertise. So take a moment to just have a think about which one speaks to the stage that you're at right now. Which one best speaks to the design statement that you've got in front of you? And if we were to ask you, how could you move that forward? What is the next step within that design statement? Which of these 3 goals best suit that next step.
Thank you, Erica. And if you'd like some help setting up a goal that you actually follow through on, or you need some help refining it, why not book a free intro call with Erica or myself? And you can do that through the links in the show notes. The thing is, without a goal, it's very easy for us to get stuck in that sort of reflection mode, if you like, where we're in a loop of overthinking, thinking, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. I'm just not happy, and like stuck in that place and hesitating and feeling resistant to move forward. But once we set a clear goal off the back of that initial reflection, it then does give us the momentum and direction that we really do need. But before we kind of move head on straight into the goal setting, let's just take a moment to think about perspective and timing. And something that Erica and I both advocate for is that when it comes to goal setting, that we set things that are achievable within a 12-month or less time frame. Now, that's not to say that you can't have longer term goals. We're not for 1 minute saying don't have big dreams and aspirations that take you beyond a year. But what we say is when it comes to the detail of the goal and the plan, the sort of real nitty gritty, we just feel that creating achievable milestone goals that sort of take you in the direction of that longer term aspiration are much better and much more likely for you to achieve them because you're creating short, fast momentum. And that way you won't spend lots of your precious time, those 80,000 hours we talked about, remember? You won't spend too much of that detailing out a 5 or 10-year goal that, quite frankly, after 12 months, you may want to change direction anyway. And then that was wasted effort. So if it helps, the kind of way we like to think of it is 2 terms, really, a bird's eye view and a worm's eye view. So the bird's eye view is that bigger picture direction. That is that shift, that sort of aspirational dream. I want to shift into a role where I lead on creative strategy, something in the future that I dream of. But a worm's eye view is the much more in the detail, in the nitty gritty, the sort of next concrete steps, if you like, they're going to move me in that direction. So it might be much more action orientated, look for and secure a mentor for somebody already in that role or field. Yeah, so I can move towards that ultimate aspiration that I have. And the reason this is also important is because our goals can shift over time. So you don't need to choose something that's forever. You may well start with a learning goal because of the curiosity and the desire just to learn more or become more of an expert. But that might trigger you to move into more of a developmental goal that then triggers you into a progress goal. Yeah. So they will shift over time as you grow and evolve in terms of your thinking and what matters most to you. But what does matter is that your goal matches your context, your energy and the values for you now. And that's why we link it back to the career design statement that you spent time on last time. So tell us, Erica, a little bit about how we therefore begin to align our goal setting with our design statement.
Yeah, definitely. So here's the thing. What I want to know is what's the one goal that would take you closer to the realization, the experience of your career design statement in the next, say, 3 to 12 months. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Small and specific is often more powerful. And as Zoe said, setting something with a very short timeline that's a kind of sprint towards something can often feel clearer and easier to do. So if you start setting a goal and you're already feeling like, I don't know how I'm going to get there, there's too many questions around that, your goal is too big, set a smaller one. Be more short-sighted about what needs to happen in the next couple of weeks to get me moving towards that a little bit more. So say, for example, it could be, I want to increase my LinkedIn network by 25% by the 1st of October, 2025. We could even break that down further and say, in the next month, how many people is that going to be? How many connections is that going to be? To make it easier for you to get moving. We could say you want to attend 3 networking events on AI and tech topics by December of 2025. And again, if that feels daunting, then we go, when could I set a goal for my first one? Or even let me set a goal of researching and knowing 10 possible events that I might like to attend. And then another goal for booking in for one of them. And then another for telling somebody about it. Yeah. So we want you to make it as easy as possible to choose the right goal. And maybe it's something like doing your research. Perhaps you are thinking about taking some training in coaching or management or UX or whatever it is, engineering qualifications, whatever it is that you need to do the research and enroll could be the first goal that you set. So be really specific about it, but it should feel like a stretch, not a cliff that you're going to be jumping off the side of. And remember, of course, that the goal should be as smart as possible, which means it should be specific, increase my LinkedIn network by 25%, measurable, you've got a number in there, and a date. So I'd like to secure my promotion to director by January of next year. Achievable, you've got to believe that it's possible for you. If it's feeling too daunting, you've gone too far, step back a little bit. Relevance, so it's got to be about you and your design statement. Otherwise, you're setting goals and driving your career against somebody else's aspirations. And time-bound, there's got to be a time associated with it. We find that one of the great ways to think about it is to make sure that you've got something measurable, especially when it comes to learning goals. So say, for example, we've got a goal of enrolling on a Spanish course. Great. So we've done that. But then how do we know that our Spanish is improving? So you might set a goal like being able to order a Spanish meal in a Spanish restaurant in London, or when I next go on holiday to Spain, being able to have 3 conversations with people about basic weather, food, and who wants a beer. Yet the more specific you can get, the more visible that is, the more trackable it is, the more incentive you have to do it, and the more your sense of accomplishment when it has been done. And of course, if it's a goal that does relate specifically to promotion or reward or recognition, it's really important that you've got those metrics in there so that it's inarguable when it comes to bonus time. So ensuring that you have a goal that is specific and clear, not too intimidating, but stretchy enough to feel excited, that you've got the sort of SMART criteria around it, so it's specific and you understand where you're heading to, and that you've got measures that are clearly visible is really important. Having the measures to know when you've achieved it and what the time frame is. Without those, it's like trying to pin down a jelly. It's absolutely impossible to achieve and to quantify that something's been accomplished. And lastly, if you're working on a learning goal, sometimes that feels quite difficult to have a KPI around it, to have something you can measure. So I'd always encourage you with learning that a great way to track if you've learned something is to teach it to somebody else. So your goal might be to be able to teach basic UX about how a homepage works best to somebody else in your team, and to do that presentation, because it's in the teaching of it that you then re-embed the learning and demonstrate the evidence that you've got value from it.
You're right, Erica. There's so much importance around creating that momentum and keep going, but you do need the specificity to start that process, don't you? We need to have that real SMART goal in place in order to be able to start with those first actions. And you've put so much work into already crafting your career design statement that you don't want it to go to waste. Erica and I do not want it to be something that you just wrote once upon a time whilst listening to these women on a podcast. We want you to be able to use it and for it to help you in ways that Erica had already started to explain in our last episode, scoring it to know where it feels you are right now. Like what, as Erica said at the beginning of this episode, like what's the one small thing that you could do to take you towards your design statement? So your actions for this week are exactly that. Define at least one goal that you could achieve in the next 3 to 12 months that will take you closer to your design statement. And if 3 months still feels too far away, then bring it closer towards you. Like what could you do in the next 2 weeks or the next month that's going to move you in the right direction? Because creating that momentum will really help to keep your energy high around doing something about this design statement and making progress. Don't forget to identify the measures of your goal to help you know and evidence that you're achieving it along the way. How will you know that you've achieved it? And then identify your first actions that you could take this week that will move you forward with this goal. And think super small to get started. As Erica said, perhaps it's just a bit of research this time. Perhaps it's just gathering the data. You wanted to increase your LinkedIn network. What's your current network look like? How many people have you got? Gather those small steps. Things that you could do easily today to get in the diary to start that research. And then next time, we're going to talk about how to stay in motion, how to keep that momentum, even when things like fear and life and doubt begin to creep in. We want to keep that momentum going. So that's what we're going to touch on next week. So join us for the final episode, episode 6, next time.
Toodaloo.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Career Equation podcast. Stay connected with us on socials for more career insights, behind-the-scenes moments, and updates on upcoming episodes. And if you'd like to work with us, visit the Career Equation website or click the links in the show notes. Remember, the Career Equation isn't just a podcast. It's a journey towards unlocking your full potential, enjoying your life, and doing remarkable stuff. And don't forget to share your thoughts and feedback with us. Your input shapes the future of our show. Until next time, keep solving those career equations and pursuing your path to success. This is Erica Sosna
And Zoe Schofield.
signing off.